You can speak excellent French with your American accent. That's perfectly fine and part of who you are. But there are 5 specific sounds that, when mispronounced, can make you harder to understand or even create confusion. Today, I will show you exactly how to pronounce these sounds clearly so French speakers understand you perfectly every time. The infamous French R. Many students feel silly when they try to make this half-gargling sound, R. It's distracting when you're just trying to buy a baguette in Paris. But you know what? If you don't have a great French R, that's okay. It won't really get in the way of being understood. But if you want to practice it anyway, because students love to do this, let's do it together. The French R comes from the back of your tongue. For the English R, the tip of your tongue goes up, as in a red French car. You feel it? And your pronunciation is much better than mine. Okay. Well, in French, it's the back of your tongue that goes up to the roof of your mouth. R. R. Une voiture rouge française. Une voiture rouge française. Okay, that was tricky. Let's practice together. Paris. Okay, remember it's the back of your tongue going up. Paris. Paris. Merci. Merci. Okay, don't overdo the French R. It's not too harsh either. But when in doubt, you can make it harsher than you are saying it. Merci. Merci. Au revoir. Au revoir. Okay, now listen and repeat after me. Bonjour. 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 Robert part. That means Robert is leaving. And yes, the T is silent in part. Robert part. Robert part. Okay. Can you try something a bit more difficult? I believe in you. Okay? Ready? 3 gros rats rouges. 3 big red rats. Repeat after me. 3 gros rats rouges. Again? That's tricky. 3 gros rats rouges. Okay, did you catch the words and all the R? One more time. 3 gros rats rouges. Good. Okay, now just for fun, let's try this phrase. And I can tell you it's going to be difficult for me as well. 3 gros rats rouges regardent 3 grains de riz. 3 big red rats are looking at 3 big grains of rice. Okay? That's a tongue twister, I can tell, even for me. So don't leave me hanging. Try it out yourself. Let's do it slow first with me. 3 gros rats rouges regardent 3 gros grains de riz. Okay? One last time, all together. Repeat after me. 3 gros rats rouges regardent 3 gros grains de riz. Did you get it? Okay, great. Bravo, félicitations. When learning French, students often have trouble hearing the difference between ou and u. This is why when you want to thank someone, you might accidentally tell them they have a nice butt, which is also polite in a way, but maybe more forward than you intended. The thing is that in English or in Spanish, the U sound doesn't really exist. So English speakers tend not to notice that enfuir, to flee, and enfouir, to bury, are 2 different verbs, for instance. Pronunciation itself is not that hard. Your tongue is placed just like when saying I, and your lips are pursed just like when saying ou. So if you want to practice the French U, you can either start by saying I and then run your lips, okay, to U, I, U. Repeat after me, I, U. I, U. Or you can do the OO sound and then push your tongue forward. OO, U, OO, U. Repeat after me. OO, U, OO, U. Can you hear the difference? OO, U, OO, U, OO, U. For example, listen and repeat these contrasting pairs. Tu for you and tout. Tu, tout. Tu, tout. Dessus is above and dessous is below. Dessus, dessous. Dessus, dessous. Jus for juice, jus. And joue for the cheek or playing. Joue, jus, joue, jus, joue. And even rue for the street, rue, and roue for the wheel, roue, rue, roue, rue, roue. And of course, merci beaucoup for thanks a lot, merci beaucoup, and un beau cul. It's a nice butt, but it's pretty vulgar. It's a common mistake. Don't worry if you did this in the past. Now, let's try to use both sounds in one sentence to really test your understanding. Listen and repeat this sentence. Tu as bu tout ton jus? Did you drink all your juice? Repeat after me. Tu as bu tout ton jus? Again. Tu as bu tout ton jus? And one time faster. Tu as bu tout ton jus? Good. When non-native speakers encounter a French nasal vowel, they can panic. After all, these don't exist in English, so you just pick one at random and see what happens. Some kind of en one that, to be fair, kind of does the job. But if you want your conversation to flow well, you need to be more precise in your French nasal sounds. Quick, can you repeat after me? Un bon vin blanc? Un bon vin blanc? Un bon vin blanc? Okay, well, you just heard the 3 French nasal vowels. Can you repeat after me? On. 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 And now en. 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 It's hard, right? And now un, like number 1 in French. Un. Un. Can you pronounce them? Well, basically the back of your tongue should shut the back of your mouth, so some air has to go through your nose. And then you try saying A, O, and I. Try it with me. O. O. Okay, got it? Your lips are placed the same, but you simply push your tongue back a little. O, on. O, on. O, on. Now, A. A. And from the A, it's en. A, en. En. Your turn. En. En. A, en. A, en. And then the I. Your turn. I, say I. And un. 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 Or it's just one single word, un jambon for a ham. Repeat after me, un jambon. Good. French learners often try to add an N sound in here as well, or sometimes a hard G sound for a reason or another, but it's not un jambon or un jambon, it's not un jambong. No, the N and the M are simply there to tell you that it's a nasal vowel. So you can do sometimes la liaison as well, but here it's simply un jambon. Un jambon. So repeat after me. Mon nom for my name. Mon nom. Un nain. Un nain. For a garden gnome, a dwarf, or a little person. Un nain. which is pretty insulting, so don't call them that. Un nain. Lent, lent, for the slow year. Lent, lent. And once again, un bon vin blanc. Un bon vin blanc. Un bon vin blanc. A bit harder. Un bon vin blanc dans un grand ballon. Un bon vin blanc dans un, here I do la liaison, grand ballon. All together, un bon vin blanc dans un grand ballon. Santé! You know, the biggest challenge when learning French is not knowing your exact level and what you should be practicing next. Without a clear structure, you might spend years studying without making real progress towards fluency. That's why I created the weekly practice plan. With this free resource, you will get a clear assessment of your current level and specific exercises tailored to your needs. You will find exactly what to practice each day of the week, how to overcome common obstacles, and a simple method to track your improvement. Join over 30,000 French learners who have already downloaded this free resource. Click the link in the description below and start your structured French practice today. Let's continue. Alright, next up is a sound that can be a bit sneaky because it doesn't have a perfect twin in American English. The E sound. You hear it in words like deux for two, bleu for blue, or un peu for a little bit. English speakers can become confused by the spelling, but it's not a diphthong. There's really just one sound here, and it's not U, it's not OU either, it's E. So, de is not du, is not du or du, or du, or even Dieu. It's simply de. As you can see, you might get misunderstood if you add a diphthong or if you change the E into another sound like a U or a U. That's the key thing to practice. Other than that, nailing the exact E sound isn't that important, but that's still a lot. So how can you pronounce the French E? Well, it's a bit between the in cup and the in bird, which I have to think about in English as well. And your pronunciation will be much better than mine. But then you purse your lips just a little bit further. Try it yourself. Try with the in cup, and then try to repeat after me. De. Then close your lips a little bit more. De. Repeat after me. De. It's not ou, it's not it's e. So let's practice. Okay? Repeat after me. Bleu. Un peu. Vieux. Un pouls un peu vieux. Un pouls un peu vieux. Le feu. Yeah, well, here it's tricky because le can also sound like e or e. It depends on your French accent. But here, be careful not to say fou, because fou means crazy. It's le feu, not le fou. Le feu. And finally, let's try these two sentences. Repeat after me. Elle a deux yeux bleus. Elle a deux yeux bleus. A bit faster. Elle a deux yeux bleus. Good. Il veut être heureux. Il veut être heureux. And I'm going to do la liaison here between veut and être. Il veut être heureux. Il veut être heureux.
Je veux être un homme heureux.
Our final sound isn't a single sound, but a super important feature of spoken French. It's la liaison, as I've just done before. We use it almost everywhere. It makes your French flow smoothly. Otherwise, you would sound like you're firing off each word one by one, like a choppy robot. On the other hand, sometimes you're not allowed to make la liaison. Of course, because French is really tricky. And sometimes, for some of them, you're free to choose to make it or not. So yeah, we know it's a weird feature, and French people themselves won't hold it against you if you mess up, because we know it's difficult. I made several lessons already explaining all the rules. You will find them on my website. Today, I want to cover what you really need instead, which is to practice la liaison so you can also understand when French people are using it as well. So, what's this liaison thing anyway? Well, it's when a silent letter at the end of a word gets pronounced to create a smooth transition with the next word. It happens when a word ends with a consonant before a word that starts with a vowel. For instance, un petit enfant is a small child. Here, the T in petit is usually silent. We say un petit, un petit. But with la liaison, you can hear it. Saying un petit enfant would slow us down too much. So we say un petit enfant. Repeat after me. Un petit enfant. Don't forget the nasal sound, okay? Un petit enfant. Good. Un petit enfant. Note that we would say un petit gâteau, a small cake or a cookie. When there is no vowel after petit, the T has to stay silent at the end. Un petit gâteau. Un petit gâteau. What happens in the plural though? Well, it makes les petits enfants, the small children. Did you hear that? The letter at the end of petit is now a silent S. Okay, we say les petits. But it turns into a Z sound with la liaison. The silent S is the most common liaison in French. Repeat after me. Les petits enfants. Les petits enfants. Les petits enfants. Good. And by the way, un petit enfant with a dash means a grandchild. Now, when do you use la liaison? There are 5 cases of mandatory liaison. After les, un, or any other determiner, we say determiner? Your guess is better than mine. There are some words in English that are too hard for me. Les enfants, okay? Les enfants. Repeat after me. Les enfants. Okay. After il, on, nous, and other pronouns. Ils ont des enfants. They have kids. Repeat after me. Ils ont des enfants. Okay. With an adjective before a noun. Okay. Elles ont des petits enfants. Elles ont des petits enfants. Repeat after me. Elles ont des petits enfants. Okay. After dans, en, and short preposition. For example, 2 enfants sont dans un train. 2 children are on a train. And yes, here the silent X also becomes a Z sound with the liaison. Can you hear it? 2 enfants, 2 enfants. So repeat after me. 2 enfants sont dans un train. Okay. And at last, after très. C'est un enfant très intelligent. He's a really smart kid. C'est un enfant très intelligent. Repeat after me. C'est un enfant très intelligent. Good. You can notice here as well that you can also do la liaison after c'est, but it's not mandatory. And remember when I told you that you never hear an N sound with a nasal vowel? Where there's an exception, of course, because that's French. And this expression is la liaison, actually. Here with un enfant, the silent N comes back at the end of un. Repeat after me. Un enfant. Un enfant. Okay. As I said, there is a ton of rules about la liaison that I covered in several other lessons. What I want you to remember is that la liaison makes you pronounce some silent letters. This means that sometimes you will hear a new letter appear in a sentence where you don't expect it. If you don't understand the words, you can check if it's a case of la liaison and see if it makes much more sense this way. Okay. Let's try one last sentence. It's a tough one. Can you repeat after me? Breathe. Ready? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Les autres petits-enfants ont attendu dans une ambiance très animée. Repeat after me. Les autres petits-enfants ont attendu dans une ambiance très animée. Did you hear that? There is a ton of liaison here. Les autres petits-enfants ont attendu dans une ambiance très animée. Say this again. Good. You see, it connects the words beautifully. The more you practice and listen, the more liaison will become second nature. Bravo! Félicitations! Well done to you for tackling these tricky sounds. Keep practicing and you will be understood even more clearly. Okay, that was a lot of practice, but don't worry, you can squeeze that into 2-minute daily practice routines. That consistency will help you improve your French a lot with only 2 minutes per day. What does it look like? Well, for instance, it could be starting your morning exercise in front of a mirror by repeating each sound. R, U, 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 U. U, 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 U. On, on. On. E. You will look ridiculous, you will sound ridiculous, but no one will be there to judge you. You can even do this in the shower with the noise of the water. No one else will hear you. Then you can repeat a tongue twister. You can reuse the ones that we've seen, for instance, for each sound that you will find in the written lesson for today on my website. There is a link in the description just below. You just need to click and it will be there. Or you can use a tongue twister that uses all of these sounds. For instance, ready? Breathe. Un enfant heureux sous son pardessus. A happy child under his raincoat. Un enfant heureux sous son pardessus. Can you hear all the sounds here? Repeat after me now. Un enfant heureux sous son pardessus. A bit faster. Un enfant heureux sous son pardessus. Un enfant heureux sous son pardessus. Great! You can record yourself with your smartphone while you're doing this exercise. Then you can play it back to you and listen to where you could improve. You can record me as a reference point if you want as well. You will realize that improvement can happen very quickly. In 2 or 3 weeks of practice only, you will already be much more confident with your French pronunciation. You can even hear your progress in your daily recordings. And of course, perfect pronunciation is not the goal here. You will always sound a bit like an English speaker. Even long-term residents with a native French spouse often keep their accent, and that is absolutely okay. It's who you are. I'm not changing that in any way. You only need to be understood and respected for your effort. Okay, don't forget to download your free personalized weekly plan, a step-by-step roadmap with daily activities tailored for your level, progress tracking tools, and proven strategies to overcome French challenges. Thousands of students have accelerated their progress with this guide. Just click the link in the description to get instant access. And if you found this pronunciation guide helpful, you will love my video on the Real French No Textbook Teaches You. It shows why schools teach the wrong kind of French and how to learn what actually matters. Click here to watch it next. À bientôt.